Our general approach to fitness, I would say, is like safety, form, functionality, and fun. Like we are very specific on like when we teach a move, it's for a reason.
Welcome to the Fit and Healthy Denver podcast, where we discuss all things revolving around health, fitness, and wellness in the amazing state of Colorado, so you can get behind-the-scenes information from industry insiders, special events, and more. Coming up is our host, physical therapist and strength coach, Dr. Jamie Beauvais. And here we go.
All right. Well, welcome, Jillian. And I actually don't know how to say your name. Is it Kevini?
Close. It's Kevini.
Kevini. All right. I wasn't that
Yeah.
close. Thank you. I appreciate you being generous with me. Jillian is the co-owner of Compass Fitness, and we'll be talking about that as well as their online fitness, which they have just done a phenomenal job with. And, I thought about coming on here, Jillian, and just saying something really mean to you because I don't think I've ever seen you without a smile on your face, which is just amazing. Like, I literally have never seen you without a smile on your face. You hugged me the first like 3 or 4 times you met me without even seeing it, knowing me. And it's, a big testament to just how friendly you are and outgoing you are. And I know you have a lot of things going on between Compass, between school, the online, which is essentially another business. And you're also an event producer. I'm sure there's several other things that I'm missing. So let's just get started and we'll cover as much of that as we can.
Yeah, that sounds great.
So tell me about your background. How'd you get started in fitness?
Yeah. So my degree is in kinesiology with an emphasis in sport and fitness management. So when I was in college, I played basketball for 2 years at Mesa State. It's now Colorado Mesa University up in Grand Junction. And as my degree was kind of coming to an end, I took the more business turn towards the end. And so my goal was to work for like a professional sports team or the USS, like the Olympic Training Center, or something in that regard in the business side. And so that was my goal. And then when I graduated from college, I couldn't get a job pretty much anywhere. I even worked for the Kansas City Chiefs. I did a 6-month internship and worked at Arrowhead Stadium and worked in the marketing department. And I really liked it, but came back to Colorado and there just wasn't much available. So I was like, well, I have this kinesis degree, like I'll just personal train on the side for a little bit. So I did that for a little bit. And then I did kind of get more into the retail side. I managed a running specialty store called the Colorado Running Company in Springs. I opened up Lululemon there, but all the while I was like really passionate about movement. I started teaching for Core Power in 2010 down in the Springs. And that's kind of where I got my group fitness and yoga start. And then I moved to Denver in 2013 and pretty much just started teaching anywhere I could, both fitness and yoga.
Okay. And so you've been here since 2013 and Compass is started 2 years ago. Is that correct?
Yes. We just celebrated our 2-year anniversary in May.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What was the genesis of Compass?
So very early on in 2018, I myself just started thinking about like, what's next? I had trashed my body teaching 20 classes a week for the previous 5 years. And I thought, how much longer do I have doing this? And what am I going to do when I can't no longer teach as many classes, personal train, and just be this high energy all the time? And I was just like, I've managed other people's businesses. Like, how do I start to manage my own business? And what is even my brand? Like, what am I doing? And so I had started producing some events with Phil, who owns Sound Off Colorado, and some independently for myself. And I just kind of had my hand in a lot of pots, which I enjoyed, but I also felt very stretched thin and not like really seeing like what the long-term plan was. And so my friend and co-owner of Compass, Heather Lawrence, she and I have known each other since Colorado Springs days. She was my first yoga sculpt teacher at Core Power. We've known each other over 10 years. And her and I were like, we're both like, she just turned 40, I'm 36. We're not like fresh chickens in this whole fitness world. And we were like, what are we going to do long term? And so we had taught so many places and learned so much about what I think studios do really well and where we saw gaps and things that weren't working well. And we were like, should we just like try to give this brick and mortar thing a go? Like, and we were like, we're both, she's an Enneagram 6, I'm a 9. We're both like, okay, we'll just do 1 year. We'll just do 1 year. And if it's like terrible, we'll like just back out, whatever. And we found a location, which is our current Compass Fitness location, in a situation where the current lease owner was like not wanting to have it. And so we just did like a 1 year sublease deal. And in that process, a few of our other trainer friends were like, hey, I want to come teach for you. I'm interested in ownership. And so we then became a trainer owned gym, which I think is one of the things that sets us apart from other studios. We have 4 trainers that own it, and then we have 2 other like very small percentage owners that are not. So
Yeah. Okay, great. And you have had some tremendous growth in the last 2 years. You've now opened a second location,
yeah.
as well as the online, which we're going to talk about both of those. But I want to know, what holes did you see in the fitness arena that you thought Compass could fill?
Yeah. I think the holes that we saw, the big one was so many studios focus on one thing. It's like, I want to be really great at one thing, which we've seen in a lot of other businesses. You have a niche and that works really well.
Hmm.
However, when it comes to movement, our bodies are constantly changing and evolving. What we want is constantly changing and evolving. We're injured, we're pregnant, we're aging. We have, new fitness concepts are released. And like, how do we stay attuned to what our bodies need in the moment and also stay excited about movement? And so our idea was, then the name where Compass came from, our tagline is find your direction. It's fueled by the idea that we believe there's a lot of ways to move your body. So our idea was, hey, let's pick a few platforms, a few class styles, hire the best teachers, the most experienced teachers we know that we know will lead a great experience for a large size class. And let's just go for it. I mean, our space is almost 7,000 square feet. Heather knew she would hook me when she said, Jillian, you can have all of your events here. You can teach over 100 people in here if you want. And she did get me there. But, it was like, okay, what if we did mini trampoline? What if we did a strength training class only? What if we offered a mix of HIIT and cardio? What if we did some run focused classes? So that's kind of where we saw the gaps. And we just knew that if we established a really community based foundation, and also like, hey, we're going to meet you where you're at today. We're going to push you. We're also going to adapt to what your needs are the best we can in a group fitness scenario. And I think that comes from the years of experience that we had. Those were kind of our foundational focuses when we opened the business.
What were some of the struggles you had early on with the business?
Oh, geez. How long is this podcast? I think some of the struggles early on, is just finding the flow personnel wise. We had some changes in ownership right away. That was pretty heartbreaking within the first 6 months of like this foundation that we thought was no longer. And so that emotionally was a pretty big toll, but we just kind of like pushed on and trust that the people that were meant to be on our team and help us develop and move forward, either in an ownership level, a managerial level, or a teacher level, like that would be what was brought to us. And that's exactly what happened. I think, trying things on and giving it enough time to see what the result is without going, oh, that's not working, let's pull it back. I see a lot of studios do that with like time slots or formats and stuff like that. Like if you don't give it time to like catch
Hmm.
on, or for people to get into it, and you like pull it away too fast, I think we lose opportunities. So I think it was just like trusting ourselves to be like, what have we learned working for 10 years in this business?
Yeah.
Let's try some things. And so I think that was kind of a struggle that we had. Um, Marketing, we're fitness people. Like it's
Right,
like
right.
when when you own your business, you're signing up to do it all. And we're like, we still like don't even like do neighborhood marketing or anything. We're just like, the word of mouth was like such a huge gift for us. So I think like we just didn't do the best job with that. And, personally now looking back, like the last 2 years, we just personally, I think like really ran ourselves pretty hard.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. And it's
yeah,
one thing, because you are also pushing your body really hard every day. You're teaching the classes, right? And a lot of
yeah,
people don't realize that physical stress and mental stress are basically the same thing to the body, just kind of in
100%.
different ways. And so when you're running a
Hmm.
business that has that many classes and that many people are coming through there, it's very impressive that you've kind of put up, and done as well as you have. And I know we've kind of talked about how you do a lot of that in the past, but so when you start out creating a new business, you kind of have this great idea, right? And most people
Hmm.
think that successful businesses are started with these ideas that nobody has ever had, but the majority of successful businesses actually just kind of copy somebody else. And that's the safe way
Hmm.
to go. And it's actually how most businesses are successful. Now, you
Yeah.
saw, like, I want to do this something completely different. And anytime you do something completely different, you get some people who really love it, and then you get some pushback. What was some of the
Yeah.
pushback that you got?
With like the class styles, people wanting more of this or more of that, and like, and not totally getting caught in all of the individual wants and needs of
Hmm.
everyone, and trying to figure out, well, okay, our 6:15 and our 9:15 a.m. classes are our biggest classes. What styles do we put there? And oh, Joe Bob over here wants more strength training, but like Sally wants more hit cardio. Like, how do we, if we say, hey, this is a one-stop shop for a lot of different modalities. How do we meet everyone's needs then?
Sure.
We only have so many hours in the day,
Hmm.
And so coming up with a schedule that made sense physically, where people wouldn't be as inclined to go someplace else. And if we were totally like, we know so many owners in this business, like if we don't have the class you want, like go see, Beth at Transform, or go see, Megan at High Ride. Like
Hmm.
we would throw those people's names out there, like go be with these studios. But I think it was a little bit, we would get caught up in like the chasing
Sure.
of what people wanted. And of course we wanted to please people and keep people, when we
Right.
first opened. Um, so that was definitely something. And just, pricing and all that stuff. Like Heather and I are always some people to be like, we'll just do it for free or like whatever. But then like, oh my God, our overheads, what? Like, I
Yeah.
think
Yeah. You
there
have a
was that
huge
struggle.
Yeah, you have a
Oh
huge
yeah.
building that's amazing. You have one of the best spaces I've seen. It's really
Oh, thanks.
nice in there. And so, yeah, I
Coming in
walked
handy
in.
right now, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I know when I saw you move into that place, I was like, they're moving into that as a new business. I was like, good luck. They'll be out of there in 6 months. But you obviously
Yeah,
proved me wrong. And credit to you. I didn't know what I was talking about.
thanks.
So,
Thank you.
as you're developing all of these individual classes, and you're trying to bring on some new resources for people.
Mhm.
I want to talk about the individual classes and who those are for, but what would you say your general approach to fitness is?
Our general approach to fitness, I would say, is like safety, form, functionality, and fun. Like we are very specific on like when we teach a move, it's for a reason. We're always going to show you visual. We're always going to consistently cue you. We're not going to be like, okay, here's an 8 rep or an 8 move circuit. Now get out there for 40 minutes and I'll just like
Hmm.
play some good tracks and see you later. Like
Hmm.
we're constantly looking at people's bodies, letting those fuel our cueing, and like a really intentional class and format for sure, which is very hard to teach. And that's something I will go back on, like a struggle that we've had is like Heather was notorious. She taught everywhere and she left everywhere because either that studio or the owner was like, you have to do it our way. Her creativity was tampered down.
Stifles. Yeah.
And we want to say, hey, teacher that works for us, we want you to be creative, but we also want you to hold this level of integrity and standard that we have for our space. And that's a very fine line. So going, your question was what again?
What is your general approach to fitness?
A general, okay, yes. Yeah. So functionality, teaching things for a purpose, being able to challenge people in a group dynamic, being able to up level people, and being able to accommodate different injuries and stuff in a group setting is very challenging. It takes a lot of experience and
Hmm.
work to do it well. And I think just like the fun factor. I mean, we are such a goofballs, like, and I think this is why online works so well for us. Is like we start every class with like we call it our monologue, and Heather and I kind of learned this in our yoga teacher training. It's like, I'm going to tell you where I'm at for the day. If I expect you to be vulnerable with me or, with your body and your energy and all of that, like I've got to step up and be like, hey man, like I'm really excited to be here today. I have lots of energy, or like it was a really huge struggle. And this is my weird story that happened over the weekend. We're all kind of notorious for like our bizarre stories, but having that human connection and then being like, all right, let's go. We're in this. Let's turn it on. I think is what, a big part of our approach.
Who would you say Compass is perfect for?
I can't say everybody because that's a lame answer. So I'll just say I think
Everybody should
Compass
try it
is
out though, right?
everyone should try it out for
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
100%. I think Compass is for somebody who's constantly curious of that connection to movement, um, and somebody who appreciates and is excited about community, um, and someone that is like excited and curious about their evolution of their wellness.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah,
And how many classes do you have right now? Like, not numbers, but like different styles of classes.
different. Okay, so I think we have about 10. I think we
Wow.
have about 10.
Okay.
And
All right.
we, pre-COVID, they were like during the day, it would like kind of be varied.
Mm-hmm.
Now, post post the times, we call it the times. Post the times, we would run the same class the whole day. So like
Okay.
Mondays is compass full
Yeah.
direction, Wednesdays is hit and run, things like that. Where before they were kind of scattered, but with the spatial and equipment stuff, we are kind of running that. But they vary. Compass Online has all the formats right now.
Okay.
So,
And let's talk a little bit about Compass Online. So
yeah.
you had this idea before COVID, right? And it
Hmm.
was slowly starting to kind of develop, and then all of a sudden, it was essentially, this has to happen now.
Yeah.
So why did you want to do it before? And then we'll answer that. Let's answer that first.
What do you want to do before?
Yeah.
Um, so when we opened Compass Fitness, we talked about online like right away, and we got caught up in the how. It was just like, how are we going to do this? How could we
Hmm.
film there? We only have one location. We just were really caught up in the how of it, and we saw the need of the same reason we opened the gym, of like believing there's a lot of ways to move our body. People could really connect with our individual personalities online, and some people do want to work out at home. Some people are
Hmm.
intimidated to come to a space. I mean, we have a very fit community, very friendly, but it's intense sometimes.
Hmm.
And I'm like, I would hate if someone didn't feel comfortable or fit enough or in shape enough to come into our space. It would be
Sure.
really beautiful if they at least could have something online where they could see what we're really like as people,
Hmm.
and trust us in their living room, and then be able to come in. So that was like a big part of that. And as you know, owning a brick and mortar, the profit margin is not very high. And so we thought long term, like it'd be cool to have different kind of
Hmm.
umbrella limbs of our business.
Yeah. And so you started this basically at the same time as everybody else in the world, so lots
Hmm.
of competition out there.
Yeah.
Very few people were, I would say, long-term successful. And you have been very successful at this because correct me if I'm wrong, you gained like 2,000 followers on Facebook some
Hmm.
a month or something insane like that.
Yeah.
So why were you successful when everybody else wasn't?
That's a really good question, Jamie, and I keep coming back to it. I think I have a lot of different answers for it. So basically, the story goes we shut down on Monday, the 16th of March at 1 p.m. And the four owners and I hopped in the call at 1:30 p.m. and we were like, what the F are we going to do? Like, we got to. So, our biggest goal was how do we keep, because we had to keep paying our bills. We didn't know how long this was going to go for.
Yeah.
So our idea was our members, our auto pay members, whether we're on 4, 8, 12 times a month limited, how do we keep them paying? And our idea was we were going to say to our members, hey, if you guys need to cancel your membership today, totally fine. If we're going to do these 8 million things to keep you on, providing that it's an exchange of energy services still. So we rented out our entire gym. We offered everybody like 4 pieces of equipment that was paying us a membership for free. We decided to get online on Facebook Live the very next morning. I taught Tuesday morning at 9:15. So we had Compass Fitness, our Facebook business
Hmm.
page. And then we had created like a couple months back this page called Compass Family that was just like for our people in our community. It had like 100 members on there that we were like, hey, we're going to have a potluck, or we're going to do like a, fitness yoga or a clothing exchange, just like to
Hmm.
keep our community
Hmm.
kind of connected. We hadn't spent much time on the page though. So we're like, we don't want to put it on our business page, like because of like the algorithm of Facebook, people don't see
Hmm.
it as much. We're going to create it on this Compass Family page, which was a private group. So it did, but we were going to let everybody in. We didn't care if you lived in Nebraska or whatever. We were going to let
Right.
everybody in. So the next morning I taught live, and then we slowly every week decided we were going to at least do one class a day. And like by week 3, we were having up to 3 classes a day, and showing our different formats that we have
Hmm.
at our brick and mortar. But they were all in their living rooms. They were all with stuff that we had around the house. I mean, we knew some of our members had equipment. So like we're like, okay, if you don't have weights, like fill a backpack with books. Like we tried to be as creative as we could. And again, I think that's where like our personalities really shined in that moment, and like being really vulnerable, like, hey, we're all in this, and this is like my living room, my roommate's upstairs, like with the door shut. Um, so I think so that's part of the process. But then we were just getting request after request, and literally like within 3 weeks we were like over 1,000 people, and then within 6 weeks we were over like 2,000, because everyone was just sharing it out. Everyone
Hmm.
wanted access,
Hmm.
so they were invited. We had approved them. We were just letting everybody in, and we did. Oh, Stevie, it was so funny. Like Taylor did trivia nights on Wednesdays. He like channeled Alex Trebek, had the microphone, and he did trivia everywhere
Nice.
from like regular Jeopardy. It was exactly that. It was like nature for 500 or whatever, and like compass would be like a category, and it was all on Facebook Live, and people were typing in their answers and all of this stuff. I did an Enneagram talk. I did cooking live demos. We were just like, what would people love to like have at 5:30 p.m.? It's a happy
Hmm.
hour, like trying to keep something going, some sort of like normalcy in people's lives. So we had that weird stuff on there. And like, Tara's boyfriend was in some of the videos, and he became a character. Like, it was just fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it
It was
sounds like
just
you had a
really
lot of fun
fun.
with it at probably
We
what was
did.
the most stressful time ever for you, I have to
Oh,
imagine.
yeah,
So
it
good for
was.
you. And thank
It
you for,
was.
helping bring up everybody else's spirits as well.
Yeah.
And good job,
So it
by the
was,
way.
I will say, it was all free or donation based. So that's how it kind of transitioned, was after 7 weeks. So almost, yeah, it was actually like it was over 2 months. I feel like we did it. We did all donation based content, and then we flipped to the Compass Online format.
And how's that going? How is the new online format going?
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. We use this platform created by 2 Denver guys called MemberDev. And one of our friends, Kyle Weger, who's a handstand workshop like genius guy, he works with them, and we tested out probably 5 platforms in one week, because everybody was like trying to
Hmm.
sell those platforms
Hmm.
to every studio in the nation. And so we really liked that it was local. We stream with Vimeo. It was super easy. It allowed us to upload. We had over 80 videos. I mean, already we could just dump into this
Nice.
program. It was super easy to go live every day, and just looked really clean. And it's been going great. We have just under 200 paying members currently, and our next goal is to like really market it and spend some time and money to do that.
I mean, that many members in that short of a time is pretty impressive because that's only a couple months.
Thank
So good
you.
job.
Thank you.
So we haven't talked specifically about the classes, and you probably have too many for us to go over the specifics of every class. But maybe just kind of
Yeah.
give us an idea of what people will get in the classes.
Yeah. So I'll just go over a few. So one of our foundational ones is Compass Full Direction. That's like our tried and true blend of strength and cardio. You're going to get both. Full body. We have Compass North. Compass South means upper body for north,
Hmm,
lower body for
clever.
south. Same thing, a little mix of cardio and strength. One of our really popular classes is a strength training focused class only, called Down and Dirty. There will be no burpees, like no mountain climbers, like no high impact. It's all strength training. So if we have the use barbells, heavy weights, going over like a push, a pull, a front of the leg, a back of the leg, very like low rep count, lots of
Hmm.
rest, people that really want to develop the strength. We have one of our newest, we launched this class probably 2 weeks before COVID happened, called Hit and Run, like HIIT, Hit and
Hmm.
Run. And so there was like a running element. And it really became like, especially during quarantine, one of our most popular classes, because I was like, hey, I have 6 stories in my townhome. I could run stairs, you can run outside, you can do jump rope, you can be on a treadmill. People, I think, liked the idea they could get them outside, and liked knowing that there would be like a little bit of a running element. But if
Hmm.
they didn't run, they could, choose something else.
Hmm.
And then we have a class called Buns and Guns. That's more glutes and arm focus. Again, less impact, like down and dirty. And we have one called athletic conditioning, like going over speed work, agility, kind of athlete mindset stuff. So yeah, that's kind of like a little taste of some of our most popular classes.
Cool, cool. And I know when did the new place open? Because that was recent, right?
Well, we actually, our soft opening is the week of the 20th. And so we're just doing personal training out of there
Oh, okay.
now. We signed the lease
Yeah.
conveniently like the first week of February, and we acquired it like the third week of April.
Okay. And what is the
Compass Wellness.
eventual goal with that, or what's the
Mhm.
vision?
Yeah, so I'll tell you the initial vision, and it hasn't changed as of now. But so Compass Wellness is 2 blocks up from Compass Fitness, and it's a totally different ideology of it. We're going to have yoga and bar. There's a separate yoga room. And then kind of out in the front space, our goal is to have smaller group classes called high lit. It's high intensity, low impact. So we have 6 Versa climbers. We also have 6 cable machines. If you think like envision like a home gym,
Hmm.
and those would be for small group. And because of COVID, those will be 6 people classes. And then it's also where we personal train. We have 2 mirrored like kind of squat rack areas up in the front. And then there's 3 practitioner rooms. So the idea pre-COVID was like PT, massage, acupuncture, chiro, those
Hmm.
sort of things, hydration. So it looks like a sister location, has the same barrel roof ceilings,
Hmm.
but it's a lot different. Exposed brick, upper level loft we call the Eagle's Nest,
Yeah,
where
it
it
almost
just
looks like
yeah.
a fitness spa. Like it's kind of got
Yeah.
that like high end feel to
Yes.
it, like
Hmm.
luxury. It's a beautiful space. So
Yeah. Thank you.
yeah, and
So
I want to
different
give
classes there.
yeah, eventually doing quite a few classes through there as well.
Yeah, not as much. There'll be like 4 a day
Okay,
between yoga bar, the small group. Yeah, about 4 a day.
okay. And I want to give you credit too, because I know you co-produced the 5280 Wellness Boost, which was amazing, which had, you
Where we
know,
met?
yes, exactly, well, fitness, everybody in fitness and health, and there's classes, and so next year check it out. Jillian
Thanks.
did a great job with that last year, and I'm sure we'll do a great job again. It's really fun. And what else? What else would you like people to know, either about you or Compass?
Yeah. I would love for people to come give it a try. I mean, I think I'm so passionate about the people that we have there. Our staff, super knowledgeable, like super passionate about people, about movement. We just have a stellar community, and I was reminded of that in since COVID. Like the level of support, the level of excitement that I got, even like just being away from it at home, was like very noticeable. So I just obviously like my heart's in it, not just because I'm a co-owner, but because of the people.
Hmm.
Um, I think one more thing about me, I think, is just the last year I went through school with the NTA, which is Nutritional Therapy Association, and I'd been looking for a nutrition program for like 5 years, and everything I found was just super, felt like old school. It felt like just like, here's macros, here's a plan, like here
Hmm.
you go, type of
Hmm.
thing. And I was looking for overall wellness, like how does food impact my life? How does food impact my digestion, my stress level? And that's really what nutritional therapy does. It looks at the whole person. It looks
Hmm.
at our lifestyle choices and all of that. And the last year I've been in school learning about that, and I just graduated, and I'm definitely going to include that in Compass, but also me personally working one on one with clients, and then also creating. I want to create an online course where people can learn about food and wellness, and kind of debunk the diet culture and get the access to the information in a feasible way. So that's something I'm working on now.
Yeah, and I think that'll be huge for all your clients because fitness is one thing, but health
Yeah.
is more inclusive, right? And so
Yeah.
while you can go and sweat every day, if you eat a steak and a beer every night, you may not
Yep.
be, health wise, the
Yeah.
most healthy person.
Yeah.
So I think that will just bring a whole nother level for all your clients. And congratulations on that. By the way, I know you've been working on
Thank
that for a long
you.
time, and with as much
Thank
as
you.
you're doing, I don't know how you did that, but congratulations. And
Don't know
hopefully,
either.
I'm sure you'll just fill this free time up with something else, something else.
Oh, I will tell you the last couple weeks, I'm like, oh my God, I have like space, a little bit of space. Like this was
You can
all
breathe,
filled
yeah.
up before I can
Relax.
breathe. It's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exciting. I'm curious how long
Yeah.
that will last.
Jamie, you can check in with me. I will be honest with you for sure.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Well, Jillian, where can people find you or find Compass on social so they can check you out?
Yeah. So our Compass is just Compass Fitness Denver is our Instagram handle. And then my personal one is my first and last name. It's just Jillian. Keaveny is Keaveny. It's my personal Instagram. And then we're same on Facebook. You can find us that way as well. Our two websites. So compassfitnessdenver.com is our regular website for our brick and mortars. And then for the online, it's just online.compassfitnessdenver.com. And we do right now have 4 free classes. So if you wanted to see like what an online class is like, we do have 4 of them up there for you to experience.
Nice. That's great. Little tasters.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody make sure you check out Jillian, Compass Fitness, Compass Wellness, Compass Online, Compass Nutrition. Is that the new name?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it's just me.
Okay.
All
right. Yeah. All right. So make sure you check everything out that Jillian is doing. And thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to the Fit and Healthy Denver podcast, brought to you by Kinetic Chain Denver Physical Therapy. If you know anybody that you think would benefit from listening to this podcast, please share it with them. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can enjoy all the great information we're bringing you in the next episode.